The landscape of Lakers basketball has shifted in ways that nobody could have predicted just 12 months ago. And Lakers Nation, the conversation happening right now in every corner of the basketball world, is forcing us to confront a reality that seemed impossible for 2 decades. What's up, Lakers faithful? Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, your home for everything Los Angeles Lakers, where I bring you the latest breaking news, exclusive analysis, and comprehensive coverage of our storied franchise. I'm here to deliver the insights you need to understand the seismic shifts happening within this organization, the strategic decisions being made in the front office, and what it all means for the purple and gold moving forward. Today I've got information that's going to challenge everything you thought you knew about the current state of this team, revelations about the hierarchy within the roster, and analysis from one of the most prominent voices in basketball media that's sparking intense debate across the league. I'm talking about the evolution of this franchise's identity, the changing of the guard that's happening right before our eyes, and the difficult questions that management is facing as they balance respect for legacy with the cold reality of championship timelines. This isn't just another hot take or manufactured controversy. This is a legitimate examination of where the Lakers are right now, where they're headed, and what tough decisions might be on the horizon. So stay with me through this entire breakdown, because by the end, you're going to have a complete understanding of the dynamics at play within this organization, and why the next few months could define the Lakers' trajectory for years to come. Let me start by acknowledging something that every Lakers fan needs to understand before we dive into the details. This franchise has always been about winning championships, about maintaining excellence, and about making whatever moves are necessary to keep the purple and gold competing at the highest level. That's the Lakers way. That's what separates us from every other organization in professional sports, and that's the standard that every decision must be measured against. We don't rebuild, we reload. We don't tank, we compete. And we don't let sentiment cloud our judgment when it comes to building championship rosters. That philosophy has delivered 17 championships to Los Angeles. It's created a legacy that spans generations, and it's the reason why wearing the purple and gold means something special in the basketball world. But that same philosophy also means that tough decisions sometimes have to be made, that loyalty has limits when championships are on the line, and that even the greatest players in franchise history aren't immune to the business realities of professional basketball. Now I need you to think back to February of this year, to a moment that sent shockwaves through the entire NBA and fundamentally altered the trajectory of the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm talking about the trade that nobody saw coming, the blockbuster deal that polarized basketball fans everywhere and changed the conversation about what this franchise could become. The Lakers made a move that required incredible courage, that demonstrated a willingness to take risks in pursuit of championship glory, and that signaled to the league that this organization wasn't content to simply ride out the current era and hope for the best. In a stunning transaction that dominated headlines for weeks, the Lakers acquired Luka Doncic from the Dallas Mavericks, sending Anthony Davis to Texas in exchange. Let me repeat that, because the magnitude of this deal cannot be overstated. The Lakers traded Anthony Davis, a player who had been instrumental in delivering the 2020 championship, for Luka Doncic, one of the most talented young superstars in the entire league. The reaction to this trade was immediate and intense. Some analysts praised the Lakers for their boldness, for recognizing that Doncic represented a generational talent who could lead the franchise for the next decade. Others questioned whether giving up Davis was too steep a price, whether the chemistry would work, and whether this move was a betrayal of the partnership that had brought a championship to Los Angeles. But here's what nobody could argue with. Luka Doncic is 26 years old. He's an MVP candidate. He's one of the best players in the world right now. And he represents the kind of long-term foundational piece that franchises dream about, building around. His combination of scoring ability, playmaking vision, basketball IQ, and clutch gene is virtually unprecedented for someone his age. He can take over games in the fourth quarter, he makes everyone around him better, and he has the personality and competitive fire that fits perfectly with Lakers culture. This wasn't just a good trade, this was potentially a franchise-altering acquisition that could define the next era of Lakers basketball. Since arriving in Los Angeles, Doncic has been everything the front office hoped for and more. He's embraced the pressure of playing for the Lakers, he's thrived under the bright lights of the Staples Center, and he's formed instant chemistry with the existing roster. The Lakers currently sit at 15 wins and 4 losses, one of the best records in the entire Western Conference, and they're playing with a confidence and cohesion that suggests this team could be a legitimate championship contender. Doncic is averaging elite numbers across the board, he's controlling games with his pace and decision-making, and he's showing the basketball world that he can be the number one option on a title team. This is exactly what the Lakers envisioned when they pulled the trigger on that trade, and the early returns suggest that the gamble is paying off in spectacular fashion. But here's where the story takes a fascinating and complicated turn, and this is what I really need you to pay attention to, because it gets to the heart of what's happening within this organization right now. The arrival of Luka Doncic didn't just add another star to the Lakers roster, it fundamentally changed the hierarchy and the identity of this team. For the first time in his 2-decade-long career, LeBron James is not the main man of the franchise he's part of. Think about that for a moment. LeBron James, arguably the greatest player in basketball history, a 4-time NBA champion, a 4-time MVP, the all-time leading scorer in league history, is no longer the unquestioned alpha of his team. That's not a criticism of LeBron, it's simply the reality of where we are right now. Doncic is the present and the future of this franchise. He's the player that the offense runs through, and he's the face that represents the Lakers to the basketball world. LeBron is still incredibly talented. He's still capable of dominant performances, and he's still a valuable piece of this roster. But he's no longer the centerpiece, and that shift has enormous implications for how this team operates and what decisions might be coming down the pipeline. The Lakers have even been thriving during stretches when LeBron has been absent from the lineup. Early in the season, when he sat out games for load management or to deal with various injuries, the team continued winning, Doncic stepped up as the primary option, and Austin Reaves emerged as the breakout star of the 2025-26 season. Reaves has been absolutely phenomenal, exceeding every expectation and establishing himself as a legitimate third star alongside Doncic and LeBron. His improvement has been one of the most surprising and exciting developments of the season, and it's given the Lakers incredible depth and versatility in their backcourt. The fact that the Lakers can win at a high level without LeBron on the floor isn't a slight against him. It's actually a testament to how well constructed this roster is and how effectively the pieces fit together. But it does raise legitimate questions about roles, about playing time distribution, and about what the long-term plan looks like for a team that suddenly has more talent than available minutes. LeBron has shown that he can coexist with Doncic and Reaves, that he's willing to adjust his game to fit the team's needs, and that he still has plenty left in the tank at 41 years old. He's been professional about the changing dynamics, he's embraced a complementary role when necessary, and he's used his experience and basketball IQ to help this team in crucial moments. But here's the uncomfortable truth that we need to address head-on. Just because LeBron can still play at a high level doesn't mean that the Lakers organization will keep him in their long-term plans. And according to Stephen A. Smith, one of the most prominent and well-connected voices in basketball media, the Lakers would trade LeBron James if given the opportunity, not because his game has declined significantly, but simply because of his age and the reality of where this franchise is headed. Stephen A. Smith has had his disagreements with LeBron over the years, so some might dismiss his comments as biased or agenda-driven. But on a recent appearance, Smith laid out a perspective that's worth taking seriously because it reflects the cold business logic that drives NBA front offices. Smith insisted that LeBron, even dealing with sciatica issues that have bothered him this season, can still come back and average above 20 points per game at age 41. That's not the issue. The issue, according to Smith, is that if the Lakers had a choice, they would trade him because of his age and because they've got Luka Doncic as the future. Smith explained it plainly. Luka is 26 years old. The Lakers want young players who can grow together and compete for championships over the next decade, not someone who's 41 and likely retiring within the next year or two. It's not about LeBron's game, it's about his age and the timeline mismatch between where he is in his career and where the franchise wants to go. This perspective might be difficult for some Lakers fans to hear, especially those who have loved watching LeBron in purple and gold and who remember the 2020 championship run. But we need to be honest about the business realities of professional basketball. NBA teams are not sentimental organizations. They make decisions based on championship windows and asset management, and they're constantly evaluating whether their current roster construction gives them the best chance to win titles. The Lakers brought LeBron to Los Angeles in 2018 with the explicit goal of winning championships, and they achieved that goal in 2020. But that was 5 years ago. LeBron is now 41. His body requires careful management to stay on the floor, and the franchise has pivoted toward building around a younger superstar in Luka Doncic. From a pure basketball operation standpoint, moving on from LeBron while he still has trade value makes logical sense, even if it feels harsh from an emotional perspective. LeBron has been sitting out games for load management throughout this season, resting his left leg, which has been bothering him, and managing the various aches and pains that come with playing professional basketball at 41 years old. The expectation is that he'll continue sitting out many more games as the season progresses, prioritizing his health for the playoffs and picking his spots to contribute. That's a reasonable approach for a veteran player, and the Lakers have shown they can maintain their winning ways even when he's not available. But it also reinforces the reality that LeBron is no longer the everyday workhorse that he was for the first 18 years of his career. He's become a situational player, someone who can still deliver in big moments, but who can't be relied upon for 70-plus games anymore. That's not a criticism. It's just the natural progression of an incredible career that's lasted longer than anyone could have reasonably expected. The truth that Lakers fans need to accept is that Luka Doncic is the face of this franchise now. That's not up for debate. It's not a matter of opinion. It's simply the reality of where we are. Whether LeBron gets traded to another team in the coming months, whether he decides to retire as a Laker, or whether he finishes out this season and rides off into the sunset, none of that changes the fundamental fact that Doncic is the present and future of Lakers basketball. He's the player that the organization is building around. He's the centerpiece of the offensive system, and he's the superstar that will define the next era of success in Los Angeles. And honestly, that's exactly what should be happening. The Lakers made a bold move to acquire a 26-year-old generational talent, and now they need to maximize that investment by constructing a roster that complements his timeline and gives him the best possible chance to win multiple championships over the next decade. So where does that leave LeBron James? The reality is that his future with the Lakers is genuinely uncertain right now. The organization respects everything he's accomplished. They're grateful for the 2020 championship, and they recognize that he's still capable of contributing at a high level. But they also have to make decisions based on what's best for the franchise moving forward. And if they determine that moving LeBron opens up opportunities to add pieces that better fit with Doncic's timeline, they'll make that move without hesitation. That's not disrespectful, it's not ungrateful, it's just business. And LeBron, who has been around long enough to understand how the league works, likely recognizes that reality even if it's not something he wants to confront publicly. There are also financial considerations at play here. LeBron is still commanding a significant salary, money that could potentially be redirected toward younger players who fit the championship window better. The Lakers have always been willing to spend to win, but they also need to be strategic about how they allocate their resources and whether their salary cap structure is optimized for sustained success. Trading LeBron would free up significant financial flexibility, allow the team to pursue other talent in free agency or via trade, and potentially accelerate the timeline for building a championship roster around Doncic. Again, these are cold business calculations, but they're the kind of calculations that championship organizations have to make. I want to be clear about something. I'm not advocating for the Lakers to trade LeBron James, and I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve to finish his career in purple and gold if that's what he wants. What I am saying is that we need to be realistic about the situation, understand the various factors at play, and recognize that the organization's primary obligation is to position itself for championship success, not to provide a comfortable retirement tour for aging superstars. If the Lakers determine that keeping LeBron gives them the best chance to win this year and potentially next year, then they should absolutely keep him. But if they determine that his presence is preventing them from making moves that would better serve the long-term future of the franchise, then they need to have those difficult conversations and make those tough decisions. The emergence of Austin Reaves as a legitimate star adds another layer to this entire situation. Reaves has been one of the most pleasant surprises of the season, averaging career-high numbers across the board and establishing himself as a crucial part of the Lakers' core moving forward. His chemistry with Doncic has been exceptional. His improvement as a scorer and playmaker has been remarkable, and his age and contract situation make him an incredibly valuable asset for the franchise. The Lakers now have two young stars in Doncic and Reaves who can grow together and lead this team for years to come. That's an enviable position to be in, and it's exactly the kind of foundation that championship dynasties are built upon. Adding complementary pieces around those two should be the primary focus of the front office, and every roster decision needs to be evaluated through that lens. Looking at the current 15-4 record, it's clear that this Lakers team has real championship potential right now. They're winning games, they're playing cohesive basketball on both ends of the floor, and they have multiple players capable of taking over games in crucial moments. Doncic is playing at an MVP level. Reaves is exceeding all expectations, and even with LeBron managing his minutes and sitting out games periodically, the team has maintained its winning ways. And what's your level of confidence that this team can win a championship this season with the current roster construction? Drop all your thoughts, opinions, and reactions in the comments below, because I genuinely want to know how the fan base is processing all of this information and what you think the Lakers should do moving forward. And if you want to stay on top of every development in this evolving situation, every trade rumor, every injury update, and every piece of breaking Lakers news, make sure you're subscribed to Lakers News Fan Report and hit that notification bell. I'll be bringing you comprehensive coverage and analysis throughout this entire season, giving you the insights and information you need to understand what's happening with our beloved franchise. This is your home for everything Lakers basketball, and I'm committed to delivering the content you deserve as we chase championship number 18. Let's go Lakers, and I'll see you in the next video.